What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Teen Titans Academy number 3. I talked about Robin number 2 earlier today. After this, I got to record my Detective Comics one. But for right now, let's talk about Teen Titans Academy number 3. And, you know, I just feel checked out at this point. I really could care less about what happens in this book anymore. It's way too overcrowded. It feels like there's three. No, make that four books shoved into one because we have the new generation, we have Damien's previous team, we have the old generation, and then we have the Suicide Squad thrown into this thing, and none of this is really given the proper amount of time to fully develop. We have the Red X mystery, we have stuff with Amanda Waller. I just don't care, and that's kind of a sad thing when you have so much crammed into your. Oh, you also have like the bad relationship stuff going on there with Starfire being really clingy in the previous thing. Oh, what do you mean you're going to Barbara and Bloodhaven? Ugh, what is this garbage? That's what this is. Like this book, it's basically selling on nostalgia for the Teen Titans animated series with the whole Red X thing, which only worked in that context. There's with the fact that we have like 500 characters in this thing and all these new people, you can't spend it. There's not enough time with any group. Like it fails on all fronts because when you have too many characters shoved into here and you got all these stories kind of like intertwined in that, it really lacks a cohesive story. With Damien's previous team, they're given next to nothing to do. Like Crush leaves by the end of this issue, and she's done like practically nothing in Teen Titans Academy. Like I should feel something, but I don't because she's like an afterthought kind of in this book. Again, that's to set up her little solo thing with Lobo, which just kind of like got set up right abruptly out of nowhere. There was no build up to her leaving. It's just like, all right, I'm out. And then Roundhouse is really upset about it. And then that's that. Like nobody else seems to care. Like, okay. The only character of the new group that seems to have anything is Alenta, who's the speedster. That's because Amanda Waller sees her as like a property, and Amanda Waller is just a cold-hearted bitch because she's just like, I don't care, kill all of them. I want my property back. I'm like, they're kids, but whatever. Amanda Waller. Raven's in here too. Yeah, remember her? I wish Raven had her own solo book and was outside of this thing. She's having all these premonitions, and of course, nobody seems to take her seriously. Beast Boy's there, just like, are you okay? And just kind of saying stuff there because they're trying to set up their whole like their thing that's going to happen in this book because the writer was saying stuff on social media about it. Like they're putting them in Fortnite. They're having that really shitty book by that Piccolo guy thrown in there too. So they're going to be everywhere, and they're going to be in this book too. And I voiced my opinion on it. I don't like it, but at least it's not really obnoxious the way it's played out here. But also the fact that like nobody seems to give a shit about Raven's premonitions, which turn out to be kind of true about stuff that happens with the team. Gar kind of does a bit, but like everyone else just doesn't really seem to give a shit. I mean, they're still looking for Red X. Then we have the Suicide Squad thrown in there. Now I read the Suicide Squad issues. I mean, you don't really necessarily kind of have to read them at all. You really could just pick up right from Teen Titans Academy number 2, but basically they're just looking for Alenta because Amanda Waller recruited her to join, Teen Titans Academy, and she doesn't want to deal with Waller. And we find out how she lost her legs because of her family. The business that they were running was, illegal goods, and she was a runner for them. And then I guess they took off her legs that way. Red X is there. He's working with Task Force X. Crush has just kind of had enough. There's one panel that kind of summarizes where I'm at in this thing. I mean, there's a few things that kind of do. Like, there's one here where Nightwing even mentions. Let's see if I can zoom in at some point. Come on, let's go. Whoops. Right there. We have dozens of students with unreliable powers. I don't even know half the kids we took in. That right there, that's the real issue we should be addressing. You think we bit off more? Is this a meta? Is this a self-aware line being written? I can't quite tell because, well, like I said, there's just too much crammed into this thing. The old Titans, the current Teen Titans, the Teen Titans Academy thing. Teen Titans Academy is a great concept for a story, but when you have so much crammed into one book, which, again, this says 23 pages, 4 of them are basically ads for other things. So you're 19 pages, you're expecting me to care about the new characters. I don't. I really don't. I didn't like the previous Teen Titans book, and you can check that out, like the previous run under, the Glass Thompson group. But at least that story was cohesive. At least it had a small number of characters that I could follow. And you can, even if I didn't like it, I was more invested in that story than I am this thing. With so many new characters going on, I don't give a shit who Red X even is. It feels like a one-trick pony at this point. Red X was only exciting in the Teen Titans TV show. Now with all this retconning and just he's going to be one of the new students, I don't care. Like, it's not the same as the Red X from the cartoon. It's going to be somebody completely different. So that's kind of frustrating. Alinta is the only one who kind of has a little bit of anything, but again, with all this other stuff kind of crammed into here, I just don't care. Red X is there. He has some values. Connor is there because he's on the Suicide Squad because Amanda Waller is just an evil piece of shit. Um, so they get into a fight. The main Titans, like, Dick, Corey, Starfire, Nightwing, or Raven, and all of them, or Beast Boy. They're all off kind of somewhere else. The Teen Titans Academy students and the main Teen Titans people are there working together to face off against the Suicide Squad and Connor. And it kind of doesn't go well. Some other people show up. Crush is in the middle of beating up Talon. They're like, "Hey, take it easy, Crush. Release him. He tried to kill us, murderer. Are you?" And Corey, Corey is written terribly in Teen Titans Academy. Like, from the thing in the last issue to be like, "Are you a murderer?" Like, what are you talking about? Like, after all she's been through with all of them, like, "Oh, you distracted me. I could have." And then just up in there, she quits. Emiko's like, "Just let her go," and that's that. So Alinta was keeping a secret from them. Now she seems to be kind of talking with them. Um, Roundhouse is upset about Crush. And this panel right here just kind of summarizes, like, this team right here. They're just like, what is even our point in this book? What is our role? Why are we even here at this point? We're given next to nothing to do. This team is given nothing to do. It's all about, like, the whole Red X thing, and then they're somewhat there as not really even being mentor students. They're not really going out on missions. There's too many fucking people in this book. This should not be, like, this needs to be separated into 2 or 3 books at least to follow the different teams for me to actually care, and maybe have Red X as kind of like the linking factor between the 3 books and then the Academy as well. That could probably work, but with all this crammed into one book, none of it fails on kind of all fronts there. And again, the fact that none of them just really, like, Emiko and they're like, I guess they're upset, like, oh, she just needs some space. After what happened with Damien, like, and the previous team, it just seems like they've just kind of lost interest at this point. I really want to get some of these characters. Like, I wish Red Arrow was in, like, a Green Arrow book somewhere and not in this book at all. Really, ever since the Glass Thompson run, she has not been written well as a character, and it is kind of sad because I loved reading about her in the Green Arrow stuff, and when Ben Percy was writing her, I thought she was really good. And of course, the Glass Thompson thing wasn't good at all. And of course, you have the TV show Arrow, where they completely butchered that entirely. So I'm sorry, Emiko. The superhero especially, there was one nice little fun story she was in, so I appreciated that. Raven is stuck in this book, and nobody. I mean, she's having premonitions about things, and then we have the current lineup of characters whose names I kind of forget at this point. I can't keep up with all their names because there's no focus really on them. With all the other characters, like, you get kind of distracted, and so much information crammed into these, little issues here. You start to forget things as the new month comes around. Because again, I tried rereading, like, these issues before I go into talking about this because there's just so much information to process, and I just forget things. Like, when another issue that came out today was, like, the Robin #2. Like, I just wanted to read that. When it came to Teen Titans Academy, I was, like, kind of putting it off because I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this thing. I mean, I'm trying to cover it. I'm trying to give it a chance, but it's really just not doing, like, next to nothing for me. It's not a good book. It's not. And then we have, like, these other people that are going to go off and try and find Red X, the Bat Pack, or whoever they are. They're mentioned briefly in other stuff, but with so many characters, you kind of just lose track of who's who, and that's really me at this point. Did this issue make me angry? No, it didn't really make me angry. I guess I'm just, like, I've just lost the will. This is, like, the worst kind of thing that's happening to me right now is I just don't care. And that's the saddest thing, when you just kind of lose interest in something kind of altogether, like, not even enough to really, like, solicit a huge emotional response. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the previous Teen Titans book at least was a cohesive story. I mean, I got angry with the way the characters were treated, but like I at least feel like I felt something here. I just feel kind of nothing. Like I said, Red X is not that interesting in this thing. Only worked in the Teen Titans cartoon, unless he's gonna be somebody like I don't know, like Tim Drake or whatever. I'm just not gonna care. It's gonna be one of these new characters who we barely spend time with because we have to make room for, Dick's team. We have to make room for the previous team as well. And then you have the Suicide Squad thrown into this thing. Like in the third issue, the Suicide Squad in the third issue, did we really need that? This book has not even had time to breathe. And then you have like really dumb drama. Like this book is built off nostalgia for the Teen Titans cartoon, which is a great show, but it's not fully comic accurate, and fans know this. But it feels like the writer only read that when writing this thing, because adding Red X and all that, adding all this other stuff, like it's built on that, and then like bad ships, if that makes sense. That's because you have the whole thing with the Starfire Nightwing thing where he's like, I guess, two-timing her and Babs at the same time or whatever. No setup to that at all. I know they have history in the comics, but this is after the whole Rick Grayson thing, so I would expect some sort of build-up there. They're going to do something. Raven's just being completely undermined by most of her teammates. I don't like that at all. Raven deserves a solo book. Just get Raven out of this thing. Keep her away from everyone else in here, and just give her a solo book, please. At least give her something to do. Like, there's some characters I just kind of want out of this books and put into other books where they can be utilized. I know, like, Wallace can be used in the Flash book, but, like, Emiko should be in, like, a Green Arrow book going on right now. Why we don't have a Green Arrow book is beyond me, because, the stuff under Percy was really good. But she's stuck in this book. So many characters are just like, okay, we'll just put all these new characters and we'll just shove you into this book and give you pretty much next to nothing to do. And that's just Teen Titans Academy in a nutshell. It's just too many books crammed into one, and all the stories are suffering as a result. I don't care about the Red X mystery. If they reveal it, it's like, oh, you're one of the 50 other characters thrown in this thing. Like, unless you're Charlie Day from Always Sunny with your little wall chart and all the like connected dots in that, you're just not. I don't know. I just can't get into it. Like, I don't. The Red X mystery it's not engaging me right now, and I'm just so disappointed because I really wanted this book to work, but after 3 issues, it's like I kind of want to drop it at this point because it's just not working for me. But I'm going to keep pressing on because, well, I said I'd cover it, but I just lost interest. It sucks, but that's just the truth. So, all right, I think I've rambled on enough about Teen Titans Academy #3. Artwork is nice though, for the most part. There's some nice shots of Raven. I think my favorite panel is this one here, where we go kind of into her mind. She's foreseeing like the whole future state thing, which not really a fan of future state. I thought that was kind of like cramming too much into it, which this book is really guilty of. Really should be 3 books at least 2 or 3 books, rather than just shoving this shit all into one, because it just does not work. It really doesn't work. And by the time, like, unless you're like really invested rereading it constantly, if you go like a month in between reading the issues, it's just going to seem like information overload, and you never should try to overload your audience with this stuff. I think the product suffers as a result. So, okay, well, that's all I gotta say. Thank you everyone who's been joining me on this video. I've rambled long enough, I guess. So, what did you think of Teen Titans Academy #3? Did you like the issue? Did you dislike the issue? Are you indifferent to it? What are your thoughts on this overall run in general? Tell me what you thought in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it around if you can, so more people can check it out on the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Hit that bell for notifications. And yeah, I got one more review I'm going to try and post tonight, which is the Detective Comics one. So, as always, thank you for watching this video. Take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.